Hey everyone, Mark Hespin. Follow me on all social media at Mark Hespin. Like and subscribe, you know the drill. All right, another Bears Victory Monday. That's the second one of the year. So we're doing our post-game recap here on a Monday. Kind of let the game settle in, let my thoughts settle in. Bears are 2-2. I took a bunch of notes. That's how you know I'm trying to process all this. And so let's jump into it, okay? Here's how we're feeling. The Bears are 2-2, a big victory over the Rams at home to get them back to 500, 2-0 at home. Bears have a 2-point differential when you look at the whole seasons through 4 games. That's an exciting thing. They are 2-2, 2 home wins, 2 road losses. If you'd have told me that 5 weeks ago, I'd be like, okay, I can live with that before the season starts. 2-2, win both games at home. Caleb completing now almost 62% of his passes. That I think is something that is extremely, extremely positive, right? We're over 60%. That's kind of the line of demarcation for can your quarterback play or not play in the NFL. Is he consistently over 60% of the passes complete? Right now, Caleb has more passing yards than Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, Bo Nix, Justin Herbert, Anthony Richardson. More TD passes than Matthew Stafford. On all of that, he's done now with Keenan Allen playing less than 2 full games. And he's only got 7 catches and 48 yards. We'll take it, right? We'll take the fact that that's what Caleb is. That's where the Bears are offensively through 2 games. Really impressed in this week 4 victory with Swift. Huge bounce back game. I don't even want to call it a bounce back game, just more so like the arrival game. I think this is what we all thought we were getting from DeAndre Swift week 1. We got in week 4. Better late than never. So glad it's here. Still early enough in the season for it to matter and to be impactful, right? What else do I got here? Running backs, 23 carries on 119 yards total. Him and Roschon Johnson, Swift and Roschon Johnson. That's what I'm talking about, right? Committing to the run. 23 carries to your running backs in a competitive game. You were in the game the whole time. It was a close game the whole time. And not just, 23 carries because you were blowing a team out and so then you ran the ball late. This was a really great mix of run and pass, and really simple, straight, downhill, north and south run concepts. Under center, we talk about the red zone play. We were trashing Shane Waldron for the option. What did they do? They brought in the extra lineman to play fullback, power I formation in the goal line. Love it, love it, love it. Simple. What did I say last week? Nothing the Bears are doing is simple. There was a lot of positive, simple stuff this week, right? We had good screen passes, simple. We had up the middle routes, simple. We had simple concepts in the run game as well, making it easy on your offensive line. Defense, 2 turnovers, 0 on offense. We now have a formula. Think about that. The Chicago Bears have a formula on how to win a football game. No turnovers, create turnovers the other side. The Bears are 2-0 when they do that. When the offense has 0 turnovers and they turn the ball over on defense, they're 2-0. Simple as that. That's great. Also, winning at home is really important in the NFL. It's really important in the NFL to win at home. And listen, week 1 was ugly, but it was a W. Week 2 was a solid, good win over a strong, solid opponent, all be beat up. Who's not beat up by week 4 in the season? Everyone's dealing with some sort of injuries. Rams maybe more than others, but you can only play who's in front of you. Quality opponent, really good quarterback. Bears beat them at home. Play calling in the red zone, I mentioned that, improved. Tory Taylor, huge shout out to Tory Taylor, the punter. This again, what I expected from Tory Taylor in week 1. I'm getting it in week 4. So far, we've had this with the Chicago Bears throughout this short sample size of 4 games. We're seeing pieces throughout each game of what we thought we'd get all just in total in week 1. Great teams, playoff teams, teams that have success in the playoffs are able to do that on a consistent basis week in and week out, right? We saw the Bills last night. They lost to a really tough Ravens team in Baltimore. I'm not writing off the Bills, right? 3 really good games, 1 bad game. I have a feeling the Bills would now win 3 in a row and then have another stinker. That's how you end up 12-4, right? That's how you get to these records, 12-5, in the new NFL. I'm not expecting you to go 17-0. You consistently put multiple good games together where everything works, and then you have a clunker, it happens, an injury, a great scheme, you run into a buzzsaw, right? So Torrey Taylor, that was impressive. Okay, so I'll talk about a little bit of the bad here from my observations. The Cole Kmet penalty on 4th down late in the fourth quarter, late in the game on that drive that ended up being a punt, and then the Bears defense saved him. That's tough. You can't have stuff like that when you're a young offense still trying to put things together and your offense is not scoring enough. The Bears on that drive could have gotten something going and just put the game out of reach and not needed the defense to create a turnover to win that game. But because they, again, get into 3rd and long, when you have a rookie quarterback 3rd and long and a bad offensive line at 3rd and long, that's a death sentence. One of the things I give the Bears credit for, they actually converted 2nd downs into 1st downs. That is something they need to keep doing. Good offenses don't even need to get into 3rd down. You just get a 1st down on 2nd down. Listen, Caleb Williams, passer rating, week 1 was 55.7. Week 2 was 51.0. Week 3, 80.8. And this week, 106.6. I mean, that's great. And when you combine that with Dexter Jr., Brisker, Montez Sweat on defense having lights out games, this was a really overall satisfying victory for the Chicago Bears. When you combine Swift's arrival, when you combine the fact that you got Keenan Allen back out there, when you combine the fact that Caleb is progressing, Caleb's throw to Cole Kmet down the seam, and Caleb's throw to the touchdown to DJ Moore is fantastic. There's a lot of good. If I'm going to be nitpicky, there's a lot of things I'm still frustrated by. I don't know why Caleb is still really struggling to connect on deep balls. Anything past 20 yards, he's like the worst passer in the league. I think a lot of that is still just rookie, veteran disconnect. You see a lot of like DJ Moore stopped running, Caleb threw it to a spot. Rome Odunze and Caleb not on the same page deep. Obviously not having Keenan Allen back yet, fully strength, is going to hopefully improve that as well. We know the offensive line is terrible. I thought the offensive line at times, though, today on Sunday played better. When you have Pryor in the game and no Nate Davis, Jenkins, Braxton, Wright and Pryor, so far that's been the best combo for the offensive line. It's not great in pass protection, but run game wise, it seemed like these are guys that care when Nate Davis clearly doesn't. And so obviously you're going to have to keep working that, right? You hope the rookie from Yale, you hope you get, what's his name, off of IR, and you can still work on some combos, and you can find by, week 6, week 7, week 8, maybe this offensive line gels into an average offensive line or just below average. And if you're just below average, like they kind of played last on Sunday on week 4, well, then we see this team could maybe win some games and be clever. Speaking of winning games, you have the Panthers, you have the Jags coming up, you have the Commanders coming up, you have the Patriots coming up, you have the Cardinals. Those are your next 5 games. This is it. Like, if this team wants to be a playoff team, if we're talking Bears and playoffs? If we're talking Bears and playoffs, Jim Mora, well, then this is the stretch, right? You've got to find a way to go 5-0, 4-1, at worst 3-2. If they end up with this stretch below 500 at 2-3, this is obviously not a playoff team, and they're not going to be a playoff team. No matter how good they get late in the season, with Minnesota, Green Bay, and Detroit the way they are, it's just too much of an uphill climb in the division. This is the time. This Bears team in this 5-game stretch, Panthers, Jags, I think it goes Panthers, Jags, Commanders, Cardinals, Patriots. I know those are the 5 opponents. I think that's the order. If you can find a way to go 5-0, 4-1 especially, you're going to put a ton of heat on Green Bay and Detroit and Minnesota to also win a bunch of games. And that's what I want to see from the Chicago Bears team. Really important game in week 3. Overall, I'm still pumped about Caleb Williams. I know Jane Daniels is having an insane start to his career. It's a start we've never seen before. Will it last? I don't know. Is he really lucky that he's got Cliff Kingsbury to scheme up right now? Yeah, he is. It's a great story. I'm pumped for Jane Daniels. I still think Caleb Williams was the right pick, the right guy, and he is going to progress and progress and progress and be a really, really great player for this franchise for a long time. That's how I'm feeling on Caleb. Offensive line, we got to keep getting guys back and keep Nate Davis out of the lineup, and I think that will improve. And then I think the most important thing too is that gel, the continuity with Allen, Odunze, and Moore all playing all the time. Let's get them all going together here, right? Let's get a game where all of them are going and you have DeAndre Swift. That's when this team's putting up 30 plus points, and it could be really exciting. The next couple opponents are the opponents for this team to get that going. So positive vibes for the Chicago Bears. Let's knock on all the wood, right? Knock on all the wood that we're feeling this way in a week from now after the Panthers come to town in week 5. Follow me on all the social media at Mark Hespen, MarkHespen. Like and subscribe here. We'll see you next Monday for another Bears, hopefully Victory Monday recap.